At exactly 6:10 a.m., the city was still half asleep. When Ion closed the door of his apartment for the last time, he didn't look back. The room behind him was clean, silent, and empty, just like the life he had been living. At 36, he had a stable job, familiar streets, and people who greeted him every day. Yet he felt like a guest in his own existence. Parked outside was the Motorhome. It wasn't new. Its white paint had faded into a tired cream color, and the edges carried scars of old journeys. But when Ion touched its door, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: hope without pressure. Everyone had laughed when he bought it. A house on wheels. You're running away. This phase will pass. Maybe they were right. Or maybe running wasn't always cowardice. Sometimes it was survival. He started the engine. The sound was slow and deep, like a heartbeat that refused to rush. As the motorhome rolled onto the highway, the city lights faded behind him, and with them, the weight of expectations. The first few hours were quiet. Ion drove with the windows slightly open, letting cold morning air fill the space. Inside the motorhome, everything felt simple: one small bed, a table, a stove, and shelves that waited to be filled with memories instead of objects. By afternoon, the city had completely disappeared. Open roads stretched endlessly, bordered by dry land and distant hills. He pulled over near a small roadside cafe and stepped outside. A truck driver looked at the motorhome and smiled. "Going far?" he asked. Ion paused. "I don't know," he replied honestly. The man nodded. "Best kind of journey." That sentence stayed with him. That night, Ion parked near a quiet lake. The water reflected the moon so clearly it felt unreal. Sitting outside the motorhome with a cup of tea, he realized something painful yet freeing. No one knew where he was, and no one expected anything from him. For the first time in years, he breathed deeply. Miles and memories, days, turned into weeks. The motorhome carried him through mountains where clouds touched the road, through forests where silence felt alive, and through towns so small they barely appeared on maps. Every place gave him something different. In one town, an elderly woman invited him to dinner after seeing him fix a loose mirror on the motorhome. She talked about her late husband, who once dreamed of traveling but never did. "Don't wait," she told him. "Life doesn't knock twice." In another place, he met a young artist who painted landscapes from the back of her van. She said she didn't believe in permanent homes. "Some people are born with roots," she said, "others with wheels." At night, inside the motorhome, Ion began writing again. Not plans or goals, just thoughts. Regrets he never voiced. Love he lost because he was too afraid to change. Fear of growing older without ever truly living. The motorhome didn't answer. It didn't advise. It just stayed. And that was enough. The breakdown one evening. Somewhere between nowhere and somewhere else. The motorhome stopped. The engine died on a long empty road, surrounded by fields. No signal, no houses. The sun was already sinking. For a moment, panic rose in Ion's chest. Then something surprising happened. It faded. He sat on the road, back against the motorhome, watching the sky turn orange, then purple. Hours passed before a farmer finally stopped to help. While waiting for parts the next day, Ion slept inside the motorhome under complete silence. That breakdown taught him something important. Life didn't end when plans failed. Sometimes, that's where it actually began. Facing himself as weeks turned into months. The road did what years of routine couldn't. It forced Ion to face himself. There were nights when loneliness felt heavy, when he missed conversations that lasted more than a wave, when silence became loud. On those nights, he almost turned back. But then mornings came. Sunlight through the motorhome windows. Fresh coffee. New roads. Slowly, the emptiness inside him changed. It wasn't gone, but it wasn't scary anymore. He realized he wasn't escaping life. He was finally meeting it. The choice eventually. The road led him back toward the city. Not because he was tired, but because he was ready. The motorhome looked different now. Covered in dust, tiny scratches, and stickers from places he visited. It carried stories in every corner. When Ion parked it near his old apartment, neighbors gathered with curiosity. "So, are you done traveling?" someone asked. Ion smiled softly. "No," he said. "I just learned how to live." He didn't sell the motorhome. He didn't lock it away. He kept it ready because now he understood something most people never do. Home isn't a place you stay forever. Sometimes, it's something that moves with you. That night, Ion slept inside the motorhome again, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. And the road waited quietly, patient as ever. The end. Or maybe the beginning. The motorhome stood still. But its story wasn't over. Neither was his.